nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Hello, welcome out to the Drew and Fuse Show. Hopefully by now you just saw a wonderful open video.
What's up, punks? We have our guest today, Justin the DJ, returning guest. What's up, dude?
Well, I'm doing good, man. I'm glad to be back.
It's been a minute. It's been a while, actually. It's probably been a couple years.
I think so. I was trying to figure out the other day. I was like, how long ago was it? I think it was like 21 or 22. So it's been at least, I'd say at least 3 years for sure.
Crazy. I didn't think it had been that long when we were talking, and then now just sitting here, I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. That's wild.
We did just see you out in Milwaukee. That was a lot of fun. Well, how did you feel about the old conference? You get a lot out of it?
Well, I thought Milwaukee was really good. I've been to tons of shows, and I just felt like that was one of those shows where it's just like you get to, chat with everybody there. You get to meet people one-on-one. You get to really dive deep into like asking them questions or picking their brain and this and that, but also the education that you get too. The party scene was also fun as well. I thought overall that show was probably one of the best this year so far. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what else they do for next year and future years and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I think we were originally hoping to record you there. So that's kind of why this is all coming about. And I guess looking back, we wish we weren't stuck in a room recording the whole day and we could have experienced the actual day part of it a little bit more. But overall, yes, the parties were fun and networking is always, a bonus.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wasn't in the right headspace to record at Milwaukee because I was like fucked up the entire time anyways. So it probably would have been a terrible episode. So...
It happens. It's hard to manage. It's like what I would imagine is like seeing your college friends when we go to these, where it's like, well, I only see them like once or twice a year and I want to hang out with them and I'm excited. And then you're like, I've drank 10 drinks.
And then you just like, it was basically that. I remember at one point, like, it was like the first night we got there and I'm like, oh, look, it's one of those scooters you can rent. And then I just jump on the scooter, super drunk, and I like smash through a curb, like almost running over like 3 other DJs in the process. So it was a fun time. So
yeah, I saw that video and it looked really bad and you looked really good the next day. I was like, oh my God, when I saw it, and then I hadn't seen you yet. And I saw you the next day and I was like, you look so normal. I thought you were going to be like all messed up.
It's just like half of my face is just missing its skin.
That's what I thought when they showed me the video. I was like, oh my gosh. But you were good. You're a pro.
I mean, you just got to bail out, when you hit a curb like that, you just got to bail out, tuck and roll, protect your head, and you're good. And it's funny because I stood straight back up, got back on the scooter, and I kept going. Like, it didn't even faze me.
That's
so
amazing. My wife, she works at the hospital and she's always like, oh man, there's so many people that come in from scooter accidents. And she's like a bubble girl now because she does like everything she sees in excess at the hospital. She's like, I can't do that in real life. So
it's July now. And I know for me, this is wedding downtime. It used to be the busiest time of year for most people is July. And how are you doing July? Is Dallas, I would assume, is just Death Valley right now. It's just got to be so hot.
Well, we've had a little bit of weather here and there, so it hasn't quite hit the 100 degrees consistently yet. We've had a couple days here and there where it's a little hot, but overall, I think, this past, 2025 has been kind of a weird year when it comes to weddings and bookings and stuff like that. And it's really weird because my summer is actually busier than my spring was. And so like, I'm over here trying to find dates for vacations with my girl because she's a school teacher. And I'm looking at the calendar. I'm like, man, why am I booked every weekend in July and August? Like, what is the deal here?
And I'm the opposite. July and August, I don't think I might have one wedding, but otherwise I'm like have nothing going on. And I'm just trying to book as many vacations as possible. So because September, October comes and it's
And you're
nuts.
screwed.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been saying things are going to slow down for the last 2 years just straight, and nothing has slowed down at all. Like I've just been like go, 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 go. But I do have a lot of weddings this year. I have I think every Saturday in September and every Saturday in October for weddings this year. Personally, I do. So
Nice.
yeah, doing a lot more of that this year. So, and Drew's doing a lot less of it. We're just flip-flopping spots right now.
How have you been liking the weddings fees? I know you've recently started doing that more often. How's that?
It's good. Feel like you just have to have a good, if you're working for yourself, you have to either be okay with doing a lot of the work, or you have to find like a company that you work for that really your visions align with theirs. And luckily I kind of have that. I'm working with Jason of Lexington, Jason Henninger, Kentucky Pro DJ, and we've been doing more events up in Cincinnati because here to Lexington is only about an hour and 15 minutes. So I've been going down there. I have stuff up here, and it's been great. Luckily, everything that I've done has been great. The clients have been great, and I feel like Jason's got it. He's got a great company, and him and I really get along. That he makes things easy on both the DJ and the client, which I think is not something always that every company does.
Right. Well, that's good, man. That's great.
Yeah, thanks. Did you have a gig this past weekend? Did you play a wedding?
I did. Yeah, I had a wedding. Yeah, it went really well. It was really funny because I vlogged it too, and I was looking at the timeline like before the wedding started. I'm all like, all right, if I'm gonna vlog this wedding, like, what should it like be? What the wedding video is about, right? Because you can't just say wedding vlog and then hope people watch it. Like, you gotta, tell people what the video is about. So I'm trying to figure out what this wedding, like the key moment of the wedding was. And looking at the timeline, I realized, wow, this wedding is like 2 hours long. Like from the end of the ceremony to the last song of the night was 2 hours.
Wow.
So that included like first dance, dinner, toast, cake cutting, parent dances, and the party all within 2 hours. And I'm
That's
over here
interesting.
like, that's the fastest wedding I've ever done in my life. I DJ for 30 minutes max, like for the party.
That's the best.
That's great.
But they
Yeah.
gave me must plays, and I'm just like blasting through them like crazy.
Yeah.
But it was a great wedding overall, though.
Those are the type of weddings I get where here locally we do boat weddings or yacht weddings, and that's a kind of the same thing. It's like get on, power through everything, and get off. They're just churning weddings. But that's interesting. 2 hours.
Yeah, that's interesting. The 2 hours when it's only a 2-hour dance spot or dance, like when the dancing part gets longer than 2 hours, I'm always like, oh, it could be a struggle. And it's not because there's enough music. It's just not because it's because for depending on the wedding and the guests there, it can be a lot harder. But when I see 2 hours or less in the dancing, I'm always like, yes. Like I'm just gonna rip through stuff and keep everybody having a good time. But you had a 30-minute dance floor. That's
Yeah.
even better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when it comes to a wedding, like all the people that came there, they didn't come to dance like they would at a club, right?
Right.
Right.
And so they came to like support the couple. They came to see people they haven't seen in forever. The last thing on their mind is, I'm gonna go to this wedding, and the reason why we're going is to get fucked up and dance.
Right.
That's like the secondary thing. And so our job is to kind of shift that mindset after all the formalities are over and make them not think of leaving as an option,
For sure.
I went to a wedding with a buddy when I first was getting back heavy into them after the clubs, 10 years plus ago. I started with weddings, kind of went in the clubs, like my story's all over the place. But when I started getting back to weddings after a long break, I went to go see some friends and kind of see what was going on. And it was that mindset of just because everyone's not dancing doesn't mean they're not having a good time,
Right.
People are there. You can still play the vibe. But you want to get them on the dance floor, but that's not always the case. It depends.
Yeah, no,
You
you're
can't
totally right.
Make
totally right.
non-dancers dance either. Like they're just not gonna.
Yeah. I remember one of my first weddings I ever did. It was like a backyard wedding. Like they got married in the backyard. They had the reception in the backyard, like the whole shebang. And there was a giant swimming pool in the backyard too. So like think of like a small backyard with a big pool, and like all you can really do is walk around the edges of the swimming pool. Like that's literally how big this space was. And I'm coming up to this wedding, and I remember having meetings with the client. They're like, yeah, we like to dance, we like to sing and party and this and that. Show up to the venue, I'm like, there's no room to dance here. And so I played it like I would play every other wedding. Like I'm trying to get them to dance, I'm trying to get them to have fun, and there's nowhere to dance. And people were just like, it was basically a big cocktail party. And it probably took me 30-ish minutes to realize, like, this isn't the vibe. Like, I shouldn't be playing like the super dancey stuff. I should be playing a good vibe, because they're not gonna dance. Like just because they didn't dance, that doesn't mean they didn't have a great time, you know?
More and
Totally.
more of the weddings that I'm getting these days are very much the there almost is no like formalities anymore, and it's kind of like a cocktail vibe the whole time. I mean, a lot of them are even doing just high tables with hors d'oeuvres. Like, you know, it's a mashed potato thing in a cocktail cup or a martini glass, and they're coming around with that, and it's just like hors d'oeuvres passed around, and it is like that cocktail vibe the whole time. You know, a little bit more up tempo, just vibey stuff, and then get them dancing a little bit down the road. But again, it's not forced upon the dancing. It's just the wedding really is changing more and more. For me, the stuff that I'm doing,
I just think that it's really important to remember at the end of the day, like, you know, the thing that the couple will remember most is how you treat them too.
Mm.
And, you know, obviously I want to play good music. I'm a DJ first, but like, you know, if the party is not going that way and I just facilitate what I think is best and what's good for them and what they want, then it's a win overall too.
so you were talking about setting up the idea for your vlog and doing these vlogs in general. So do you usually go in with some kind of plan, or do you just film it as much as you can and hopefully get, you know, the topic as it's building? Or do you ever go in there with a plan of like, oh, this is going to be the topic?
I think it kind of depends. Like if I've, you know, if I'm going to a wedding and maybe in advance the couple said, "Oh, we're doing this like super weird thing," or "We're doing this and that," like I'll go in with that mindset of this is what the video is going to be about, and then try and like make that a point throughout the video. Like if I'm talking to the camera, I'll try to make that a point. So when someone clicks on the video, they see the thumbnail where it's all like the dance floor is literally on fire, and then they click on it. The first clip is a shot of the dance floor's on fire and me talking about like later at the wedding, there's going to be a fire guy and he's going to light it up on fire. And then like, so that they know I clicked on the right video. I'm waiting to see what this thing is.
Right.
But sometimes like for a wedding, you can't really plan it out like that. The narrative towards that really interesting thing, but sometimes it doesn't play out, and that's okay, you know?
It's hard too. We've done vlogs for this and we vlog anytime we travel. It's hard, especially when you're there to DJ a wedding and you're like, your mind is like, okay, I'm here to do this. But also in the back of my mind, I want to do this vlog too. So to like remember to be like, oh, let me film this, or it's hard to keep that all tied together and do a good job for both, you know? So I applaud you for doing that.
And from the last time we talked to you, what is like some of the tools you're using? Are you just like mounting a GoPro somewhere? You got like, are you multiple cameras, 2, 3 cameras, or is it just trying doing the one shot?
Or I got too much shit. I got a whole Pelican case full of shit that I bring to every wedding.
Yeah.
And it really depends on like what I'm trying to capture, because not every wedding is going to be a vlog. Not every wedding I'm going to capture something on the 360 for Instagram or something, or not every wedding, you know, whatever it is, right? Not every wedding I'm going to wear the meta glasses because maybe it's too dark or something, you know? So it just kind of depends. I got a couple GoPros. I got the new Insta360, the X5. I got the Osmo Pocket. I got the meta glasses. I got like this neck mount for my phone where it looks like it's a first person view. Similar shot that you'd get with the meta glasses, but it looks better on the phone. What else do I have? I think that's all the big stuff that I have. And then obviously like your cell phone is probably the best camera everybody who's listening has ever owned in their entire life. So that's also a really good
Good.
option as well
That-
too.
Drew and I took a 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 thing, and the first thing he says is like the best camera you can have is the one that you actually use. So if your phone is, what you have, then that's what you have and use,
Yeah, and especially nowadays, like it used to be where it's like, okay, you had to have a camera and you had to have a computer with editing software on it and this and that. And now it's like you could do everything on the phone and it's twice as fast, especially if you know what you're doing. So yeah, I mean, use the phone. I do.
Yeah.
Had a ZV-1, Sony ZV-1 that we were trying to use, and I like the footage that comes out of the cell phone better, if I'm being honest. I know the ZV-1's great, but I just feel like I could get like a better angle, and it's easier to use and clip, What is your point of view, like camera that you're using for like the actual like talking stuff?
For talking, it depends again. Like if I'm shooting it for like YouTube, I'll use the Osmo. Because I like when I edit on YouTube, I usually like to edit it on my computer, and it's just easier to just drop the SD card in.
One with the little turny
with
screen?
the gimbal. Yep.
Yeah, with the gimbal. Okay, yeah.
Yep. That's the one. So I'll use it for that when I film stuff for like YouTube. If I'm shooting like a talking head for Instagram, I'll just do it on my phone. Yeah.
And what's your favorite camera? Okay, you're saying the Osmo, I understand all that, but like out of the whole bunch of all of them, like what's just like, if one person was just buying one camera, what's your favorite?
I think the most versatile, I think people might disagree. I think the most versatile is the Osmo, because I understand why people might gravitate towards the 360, because it's like you drop it, you record, and you edit it later. But the problem with that is you're going to record like 200 gigs of stuff, your entire DJ set, and now you got to go through it, and then you got to change the angle, you got to do the zooms, you got to export it, this, that. But when you are walking into a moment where you want to record and you know what you're capturing, you drop the Osmo, you frame it right, you hit record, and then 3 minutes later, the moment's done. You stop recording, and then you just take the footage, you look at it, and you're like, all right, this looks good. Maybe trim the edge here, trim this edge here, and you got a video in a couple minutes,
Right. I've been watching way too much of the TikTok these days. A lot of the stuff that I've been watching on TikTok isn't edited. It's very much just like a natural clip. And I've been seeing that stuff is what's been hitting a lot better. It's just like the one unedited angle, maybe like you're saying shortened, or maybe like some little piece taken out, but a very unedited natural clip is what's really hitting more.
I think so. Because I think it's because people want to see like the real deal. Like they want it to feel like how it would be if they were actually there, like from their perspective. And it's something that I'm trying to shy away to with the 360, because, like moving the camera around and that kind of angle just doesn't look right. And it also takes so long to edit too. I've been really wanting to get back to just like straight up like stationary cam, or someone's holding it behind you kind of vibe, because I think that looks a little more natural.
Right.
And doesn't look so like polished and finished like a 360's cam would,
I still have I sold my first 360. I did buy another one. I don't use it as much. I do just throw it up if I really need it as backup. But yeah, I switched over to the Action 5. And then I got like a mount that I just try and throw up for an angle. But yeah, I like it. You can give it to somebody. I'm just like, here, go swing it around, and you get some pretty good footage from it. And then I even went even more old school and just got a straight up camera. I just got the, the Fuji one, just been taking pictures. I've just been liking straight up pictures these days. I know it's not as good for, social media is all about the video, but I still like it, just a straight up picture.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with a solid picture with like you DJing and you just got like a big crowd behind you.
Yeah.
I just feel like you can't go wrong with a great photo.
Crazy.
Too,
I only DJ empty places, so chances of getting that photo is going to be really hard for me.
Well, ironically enough, and I wonder, I actually have a question for Justin about this, but why is it that all wedding photographers can never take that picture? It's like the most obvious fucking picture in the book. The DJ, the crowd. Oh, look, it's a party. That's what's happening. That's the point of view, right? You go see like a rock show and it's the guitarist with the crowd, right? It all makes sense. I got this gallery from a photographer just recently, and the only picture of me in it is I'm not in it. I'm this, it's all my DJ gear and it's the first dance, and I'm like blocked out in the picture of with the couple. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? The dance floor was cracking that whole night. How am I not in any of this, you know?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to like what they're worried about, right? Like for us, our job is to keep people dancing. For the photographer, their job is to take great photos of the bride and groom and their friends, right? And so like we're like an afterthought, like other vendors are afterthought, right? If you know, I know some people where it's like, all right, you get a good like relationship with a photographer. I could expect a couple of good photos in that gallery just because they hooked me up because we're cool. But for the most part, like if this is the first time I'm working with this photographer, they'll even come up to the booth and take like close up photos of me, and they're not in the gallery. And I'm just like, what were you doing then? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what was the point? Right. Yeah, totally.
Dude, I was more pissed because there was pictures of the bartender, and I'm going, what the fuck is there pictures of the bartender for? He's not even doing anything, you know? I don't know. It just pissed me off, and I find that more and more. There's no pictures at all, and you know, we controlled, especially a lot of the weddings I get, it's 3+ hour dance floors. Usually the ones I'm getting hired on or they want to dance. So that's why I get booked. And the fact that you're sitting there for 3 hours with nothing to do, like get some different angles at all, you know, practice. I don't know. So my question, as I'm talking shit, my question leading into that is, how much do you deal with the photographers getting pissed off because you have all this camera stuff, you know? Because I did have a photographer say something to me one time about, well, you can't be filming at the same time. And they got all mad and they're like, it's in my contract, this and this. And we put it away just because they were like overreacting about it. But yeah, just curious.
I have actually never had a photographer or a videographer like complain to me to that extent where they're like, oh, you can't do that. Like, I've had some where they're like, hey, is this your camera? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, is it cool if I like slide it over? Cause you're in like prime spot. And I'm like, yeah, cause I know what I'm doing. So like, I'll just like my wedding this past weekend, I set up the camera cause like sometimes I want to have like a good angle during the ceremony, right? Like they come back down the aisle, they'll kiss and they'll head back down. So I set up the camera like in the back, and the videographer is like, actually, can I put my camera there? I'm like, sure, yeah. So I just moved the camera into a shittier spot, let him have the good spot, obviously, because I'm not getting paid. The YouTube, like, it's just extra for YouTube. Right. And I just told the guy, and I was all like, if my camera's ever in your way, just throw it. I told him that. I was just like, just throw it. It's just for YouTube. Like, I want you to get the shot. And if I'm preventing you from doing that, then I'm the asshole, you know?
I almost even wonder if they would have even thought about it if your camera wasn't there.
No, they would have. They were pros. They were pros.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
So with that being said, we do have some social media questions here. And, you know, you've really, I mean, even the first time we had you on, you were taken off on social media. And then even since then, I feel like you've done so much more and your pages have, you know, gotten a lot bigger. So the first question is just like, what was like the aha moment, or what was the one thing that really you feel like clicked that took it to the next level?
I think the first thing for me really was like figuring out what I want to accomplish on social in the first place, right? So like, what was it about? Originally, it was about trying to differentiate myself between other DJs through LaForce, right? We got 30 plus DJs now. At the time, we had like 20. Me being like a newer guy, I'm like, all right, I need to figure out how to show clients like I'm not like the other guys on our team. I do things like this, and I have this style and this and that, and was using social media as that outlet to showcase that, like as an extra portfolio,
right?
And then later trying to figure out, okay, how can I get like new clients to see my stuff through just raw Instagram, not asking LaForce who's your DJ and then coming to the Instagram, just trying to find the leads straight on that platform. And the best way is to literally show them what the hell you do when you DJ a wedding is DJ the wedding. So like getting footage of different different mashups that you can do and different fun stuff like that. And it was funny because like at the time, like I swear every single video, even if it was like the shittiest mix possible, like tons of people would see it. for some random ass reason. And now you post a mix and it's just like, a lot of people see it if it was really good. So at the time it was really beneficial to kind of show what you do and how you mix, even if it's something super basic like mixing one song into another. I don't even think at the time there were stems, so like you were literally just raw mixing acapella ins and outs and stuff like that. But that was like really the first types of content that I was posting that did really well and really showcased what I can do as a wedding DJ, was those live mixes. And then I wanted to get a little more creative, so then I would do like little stupid skits and started messing around with like tip videos and that kind of stuff too. Just trying to be consistent with the content that I'm making, and nowadays really not worrying too much about how many people see it or who see it, but making it to where I'm accomplishing my goal, which is making sure clients can look at something recent online and see what I can do for them as a wedding DJ.
That makes sense. I feel like you kind of mentioned this in that answer, but it definitely seems like it's much harder now with social media stuff. Like, even I had stuff that I feel like would get 5 to 10,000 views just from posting it. And now it's like that same kind of stuff is just like maybe you get 1,000 views. And then it's like on the flip side, I just see some random person talking on their phone like this and it's got 1 million views. And it's like, it's just wild to me what's like going viral at the current moment versus stuff that was going viral, a couple years ago. Do you feel like you're always trying to search or to find like what like the algorithms are pushing, or how do you feel about that, I guess?
Well, I can tell you exactly what all the platforms are pushing for you to do when it comes to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or whatever. They want to share content that they think you're going to send to a friend, right? So like, for example, let's say Instagram shows you a video fuse and you watch it and you're like, man, this video reminds me of Drew. And you send it to him. And then Drew watches it. Man, this video reminds me of whoever. And then he sends it to that person. They want to share content that is shareable, that people want to send to their friend, because that increases the amount of content that you're engaging with when you're on your phone or you're not on your phone. Let's say you're working right now, you're on the computer and your phone pings and it's Drew. He sends you a reel, you watch it and then you swipe and you watch the next one and then you watch the next one and then you watch the next one. Now you're hooked. That's what they want. They want you to get that notification from a friend from a video that's shareable. When you're making content, whether it's if it's you DJing at a wedding, for example, the goal is this interesting enough for a stranger to send this to another stranger? If the answer is yes, you have gold.
Right.
Good. That's good piece of advice there. So with that, I'm going to ask one more social media question and then we can move on to something else. With social media, there's all these trends and, just any kind of trendy videos. Is there a trend that you feel that you jumped on and actually worked, or maybe it flopped, and is there a reason why?
No, not really. For a while, it was like, oh, you got to use these trending audios and your shit will blow up. Sometimes that was the case, but for the most part, not necessarily. I feel like it's fun to do, like when it comes to like jumping on a trend and doing like a goofy skit with an audio and stuff like that. It's also a really easy like content idea. You're basically taking one person's idea, spinning it in your niche, which for us would be DJing, and then basically redoing the idea. It's easy to do. It's fun to do. It's relevant, but to expect to go viral on it, especially in 2025, I wouldn't count on it, to be honest with you.
So no more, we shouldn't expect any more ice bucket challenges or just.
No, you're going to see shit like that still, but like to expect that because this person went viral for doing this exact thing, for me to copy it too and expect to go viral too, I wouldn't count on it, to be honest with you.
That's one thing that I definitely think that you just see a lot of in our DJ world is people see somebody like yourself or somebody else go viral for all these things, and then it's like you've got 100 dudes doing the same thing, trying to mimic that. I always just like originality. And I think people that are doing good content are just doing stuff that makes sense to them. And like you mentioned, like you go in with a goal, and as long as you achieve that goal and that video goes out, whether who sees it or not is all that matters. I think that's a good piece of advice.
Yeah, especially if you're keeping in mind the ideal client. Like if you want to be a country DJ and you only have clips of you playing 𝐬𝐭, well, you're not accomplishing your goal, you know, and vice versa or whatever. So like keeping that in mind is key.
For sure.
I was just talking with somebody about this recently, and it was about having mixes, you know, DJ mixes or just anything outside of the social media stuff. But you don't go look for a photographer, look to hire a photographer, and they don't have a portfolio of any pictures, right? You need to have the portfolio of exactly what you're doing. We were talking about on the EPK episode.
Dude, it's so important to have mixes. And mixes, it doesn't always have to be like, oh, this is me at the wedding reception. Your mixes can show like depth. Like I have a ton of different mixes on Mixcloud that are like all different things. And you know, there's a couple that are like a wedding reception or like a club mix. But like I also think showing depth of like your catalog shows that like you're going to be able to like rock the party in that situation.
I started doing like shorter, like 10-minute, quicker mini mixes of like different genres, like say all 2000s hip hop, all current hip hop, all current pop, you know, 2010s pop. I had clients where it would be open format, right? 2 open format. And they're like, well, I don't like this one song on the mix. It's like, it's a fucking mix. Like, don't overanalyze it. Or are you going to play every song that short? It's like, it's a sampler so you can get an idea. Do you want to listen to all 5 minutes of the fucking song, or do you want to just hear how I DJ? You know, don't overthink it.
Right. One more thing I want to ask with social media still. I probably already said one more thing on that last question, but I think it's important because Drew and I talk about this all the time, and we haven't really talked about it on the show, is how do you find yourself spending too much time on social media? Because I do, and I recently got one of these to try to help myself. Are you
is that
familiar with
blocker thing?
Yeah, it is. It's called a brick. So
Explain what the brick is.
So essentially, you know, you can set a limit within your phone that'll like your phone will remind you, oh, you've been on this app for 15 minutes today already. And then all you have to do though to get past it is go, okay. So what I like about this is like, let's say I'm sitting here to get some work done. Well, when I tap my phone to this, it actually blocks out the app completely and won't allow you to open it. And mostly I find myself just getting distracted. Like I'll see the text come in and then I'll be like, let me hop over here real quick and open this. And then it's like when I open the app, I'm trying to focus. And then I just set my phone back down and like go back to what I'm doing. But I feel like the addiction for the scrolling, especially before bed, do you have that? Are you on that too? Or do you feel like you do a good job of keeping it away?
I feel like I would like to say that I do a good job, but I'm sure from an outsider's perspective, I do a terrible job. When it comes to staying off my phone, it's funny because I really don't consume a ton of like TikTok. I actually don't even use TikTok at all. I just post on it and dip. I don't really consume a lot of like Instagram reels. Like I'll go on, I'll check on some stuff. I might watch a couple here and there. I think I've just like consumed enough in my lifetime to where I'm just like, I feel like I'm just, okay, that's cool. And then just move on.
So you talking about sharing and all that, I've had to purposely turn off all notifications for all social media. So I don't even see it and I have to like choose to open it. And I've taken it off my home screen. Yeah.
So I've had my notifications off forever.
Yeah.
I swear forever.
Yeah.
Well, all right. One more question then too with that. Have you got any very strange DMs from anybody? Like just random.
Oh yeah. Like it's usually spam. One type of DM I've been getting lately is like, it's like a picture of a girl. And the message says something like, hey, my boyfriend doesn't want to know that I'm texting you. Here's my like WhatsApp or whatever. And I'm just like, who the hell is this girl? It's like one follower, like AI generated, like whatever. I've been getting those a lot lately. And then like random people that are like, hey, do you want to buy 5,000 followers? And I'm just like, can y'all fuck off? Like,
The one I got that was weird lately was they asked me to DJ an event for them. They wanted to DJ a corporate event for them. And then I started getting into the conversation, and then it led to their WhatsApp and their OnlyFans. That's what it did. But they started out with me actually being one of their DJs for one of their events.
yeah, bro, they're trying to get sneaky. And
They are.
honestly, they're trying to get so sneaky. Like it's so funny. Like I'll get like an inquiry on my website and I'm like, oh, this looks cool. And then I'll go on Facebook and I'll see one of the DJ chats and someone's like, look at this scam email I got. And it's the same one I got. And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, stuff's
Yeah,
crazy.
it must be tough even because I've had a couple like inquiries like through TikTok, and you almost don't want to answer because you're like, this is definitely spam, but it could be really good. So it's like guiding it on any misspellings or trying to jump through it or how much I'm messaging them back.
Had a couple that I thought were spam recently when I got them, and I was like, this seems kind of funny. And then it came to light that it was not. So there are like real ones, but it's really hard to read between the like, is this real? They're getting really good at, faking it.
I think one of the best ways to kind of mitigate that is like it within the first conversation, like you tell him like how much it costs, what you offer, this and that, and then be like, all right, and before you can even book me, like let's jump on like a 10-minute Zoom call. It's like a scammer's not going to spend the time and put his face on the line to jump on a Zoom call. And I would like to meet my clients before they book me anyways,
Maybe you'll get on the Zoom call and it's just a naked dude standing there.
Imagine. It's like Omegle all over again.
Chat roulette.
All right. One last thing, and then we'll talk a little music. But so you've been DJing for a while now. You've been doing social media thing for a while now. Where do you see yourself, or where would you like to be in another 5 to 10 years? Let's say. What do you think's next?
I feel like I've never liked that question in the sense of like, where do you see yourself? Because every year I always have something new that I didn't expect the year before. And I've always found myself as like the open mind person when it comes to a plan in life. Like I've never like, okay, I want to do this when I'm 30. I want to do this when I'm 40. I want to do this when I'm 50. Like I've never had that mindset before. I don't know. I mean, in a year, I might not even be a DJ. I might be a wedding videographer, I just don't have the answer to that. And what I would like to do is to just continue to be on the path that I am now. I'd like to I think every DJ wants to be able to charge more. I think that's an obvious answer. Charge more, have more free time, cut out more of a niche for myself on social media, maybe a little more specific, would be fun to do, or challenge myself. This past year, I challenged myself to make 40 YouTube videos for 2025, just because I never really made that many. And I've always focused more on Instagram and TikTok. And I'm all like, all right, 2025 is the year of the YouTube, and I'm just going to focus on doing that. And so next year, I might wake up one day and be like, you know what? Let's try OnlyFans. Like whatever. I don't know. I don't know where we'll go. We'll figure it out.
No, I think it's perfectly okay answer. I think both Drew and I talk about all the time, like it's okay to kind of not know what's next, as long as the path you're on, you're getting by, you're comfortable, like, and I kind of agree with you. Like, I don't know what's next, and there's always new things that are coming and going, and just keeping an open mind to like, well, maybe this is the thing that I do next, is a good thing.
I've had that over the years multiple times where, I go too hard on weddings and I'm just like, I hit my wall and they're no longer fun. And then I'm like, I'm going to do nightclubs again. And then, that hits its wall, and it's always like reinventing. And, as an entrepreneur, you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it fun for yourself. That's my idea of being an entrepreneur, is just actually like keeping it fun and fresh.
I feel like every time I've ever thought about getting out of DJing, or like maybe the time was coming to an end, that like something happens and it's like, nope, you're like right where you're supposed to be. It's like something pops up that it's like it just lets you know that, hey, you're on the right path. Because I don't even know if I've said this on here, but like on the podcast before, during COVID, like when everything was shut down, I wasn't gigging much at all. And luckily I was able to get like PPP loans and like a lot of people and, get by. But I took the Cincinnati fire test and almost went down that route. So I took like a written exam. Then I had an interview, went through like a physical exam, all of that. And then like didn't actually get the phone call for the job for the like fire recruit class until we were opening Red Leprechaun. Like, well, like the construction had already started. And it was like, I remember answering that phone call and then being like, hey, your recruiting class is finally eligible, or you're eligible for this recruiting class. Like, is this something you want to do? And basically they were like, well, you just have to, basically fill this out. And if you want to continue, you continue. So I like hung up the phone and I was like, hadn't even thought about it. And I was like, I think I talked to Drew, I talked to my mom about it. And like, it was just like, I had so much other stuff going on post COVID again that I was like, do I completely want to change paths? And the other weird thing was that like the cutoff age for that is 35, and I had just turned 35. So like it was then or never. And so here I am. I'm a DJ forever, I guess is what that means.
So in an alternate timeline, we would have had a firefighter named Fuse busting through burning buildings.
I guess so. Well,
that's a great nickname for a firefighter too.
But yeah, what's funny is like not too long after that, I got the Reds thing and I've been doing that. And it's like something always like leads to the next thing, especially if I feel like you're working hard and you're just, putting stuff out there. Something always comes.
It's like gambling, you're always one away from that big hit,
Totally. When you say it like that, it makes it seem like, oh man, maybe this is more like gambling than I even thought,
I'm terrible. And then you're like, you know what? I'm just going to delete my website and hang it up. And then the next wedding you do is like, I'm actually really good at this shit.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I have that at normal like bar gigs that happens.
I had paused weddings for a hot minute here last year, and I did my first wedding this year. And I remember the coordinator coming up to me like, she's like, how come I've never met you? You're really good at this. She's like, do you do these very often? I was thinking, yeah, I've done a couple in my days. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm back. I gotta start doing more of these again. But we'll use that as a nice little segue into talking about music. And I wanted to talk with you about open dance floor picks and like how you open a dance floor. We don't have to have specific songs only, but I'd like to say different options and different ways we all open dance floors.
Yeah. I mean, I think specifically at a wedding, I think the best way to open a dance floor is to invite all the couples that came to the wedding to share a dance with the bride and groom, right? Like first song out the gate, I think is a great way because it gives them like a reason to want to go out into the dance floor. So if you go on the mic and you're like, all right, guys, dance floor's open, let's party. And then you play Uptown Funk. Like some people were like, all right, let's go to the bar. All right, it's time to leave. All right, let's dance. But if you say, hey, we're going to make this an activity and we want you involved, I think people are more inclined to actually get on the dance floor. And then after that slow song or whatever song you play, you go straight into like a really good song right after that and hope they stay. And a lot of times they do.
So I've seen multiple ways of people doing this. And one is they might do their first dance last and they cut it short. Maybe it's the mother's son, they cut it short and then they invite everybody. They cut their dance short, they keep the song long, and then everyone comes out and shares the ending of that song with them. And then you go into the next big song. Do you set it up as an anniversary dance? You set it up, do you talk to the bride and groom before that? Or is it just something you do and that's how you open up the dance floor?
What I explained is usually what I do if the couple doesn't have anything else in mind, right? Like if I have free reign on how to open the dance floor, I will just do that. And I mean, it works out great.
Do you have a song for that?
There's a couple of songs. I feel like I like to play, if it's like a country crowd, like you played Neon Moon, Tennessee Whiskey or something basic like that. Like if it's like a good mix, I'll play like My Girl, I think is a solid choice. It's like everybody knows that song, but it's also an older song too. So yeah, I mean, I'll usually go in one of those directions, or if the couple already put like a slow dance song on their must playlist, then I'll pick one of those too. So it just sort of depends on the wedding, you know.
I always like, the flow of the night to, as you mentioned, My Girl is like an older song. I even like to, as I start the dance floor, play more of the familiar hits that everybody can dance to. And then as like the night goes on, go newer, because I just think it's like grandma and grandpa want to dance a little bit, but they're not going to stay all night anyway. And, it's best to kind of like hit people earlier with stuff that is more familiar for all ages. And then as the night goes on, kind of, then bust out Cardi B or whatever.
But I mean, you got to be careful though, because I've been to weddings as a guest where I see this, where like they jump in, they play all the old shit for the first like 30 minutes, even an hour. And then it's like hard switch and they're playing new shit. And all the younger guests like either left already, or they're outside, or they're at the bar, or they're doing whatever. They haven't been dancing for a full hour because the music wasn't pertaining to them. Like they did not care,
Definitely think there's a way that you have to do it that bridges that gap, but for sure, because I totally agree too.
I almost don't even, I mean, every wedding's different, right? But I might even just play like 2 older songs and maybe 3, and then I'm already into straight pop. You mentioned My Girl. I've been playing that the Wookiee remix, The Sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yep.
That'll be my bridge song. So maybe it's, Whitney, I want to dance with somebody, into Dancing Queen, and then I'm just off the top of my head, and then maybe go into Ain't No Mountain High Enough, and then that Wookiee song, and then I'm like playing like It's House, and then I'm like into pop, like
Right.
I feel like
aggressively.
when I'm playing even some of the older stuff, I like to use like the blends, like our Daft's blend of the Ain't No Mountain High Enough that's got like the Dua Lipa in the background, kind of keep it familiar. And I like using songs like that too, that kind of like go from one to the next, that segues like older stuff into newer stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that works well for me.
I think those work really well too, like in the sense of like you trying to sprinkle in a little older music, but it's not the point, but it's still like kind of like a highlight moment too.
Right.
Without like full on doing an older set,
Yeah. I've been noticing even more and more that the older couples will stay for, I mean, what we consider new. It's not even new. Half of these like pop songs that we're playing are 10 years old at this point, and they know all of them. They know the Dynamites and the Black Eyed Peas and the Florida. You see grandma out there getting low. Like they know the Florida shit. They're very familiar with it by this point, I think, more and more. So that's why I go kind of aggressively into it. I play a lot more newer, faster than I think.
You're not playing Rolling on the River?
I don't even know. I mean, I'd like to because I like it, but I probably wouldn't. Well, maybe we could list a couple songs, just rattle off a couple ideas for the kids.
All right, let's do it.
You said your slow songs. You had your couple ideas. I like that. And I need to get a better list of slow songs. But for the longest time, my slow song was always "Let's Get It On."
That's what? Okay, that's a choice.
Yeah,
definitely
and it was always
choice.
on purpose because I felt like it's dirty enough for the young people to go, "Oh, this is cool," and the old people always liked it because they're like, "Oh, it's a slow jam. It's good," So that was always the one I used to use. That's if you were going straight slow song.
Yeah. I mean, when we're talking about like party starters for a wedding, I mean, do you want to do only slow songs, or do you want to do a couple faster songs too? Because like usually I'll do a slow song and then an upbeat song right after, which I would still count as a party starter song, Yeah,
hit with that. I was just adding on to what you had said, but yeah, let's do a party starters.
Okay, party starter. We could do like, I think a really easy one is like "I Want You Back," Jackson 5. I think is a solid one.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it depends on the couple because a lot of people put Bruno Mars on the do not playlist, but if they're cool with it, I think Treasure Bruno Mars is not like overplayed, but still everybody knows it kind of vibe. And I know you hate this song, but this is how we do it too. That's a
That's
good
how we
one.
do it. Work.
Don't hate that song.
don't
That's
hate-
on
we don't
my
hate.
list. What I hate is the set at DJ shows. Is the this is how we do it into party up into
Yep.
That's what I talk shit about. But I don't hate this is how we do it.
I one I like that I play is Run DMC Tricky, because I like that it's up tempo and it's older and more familiar. I have a good, I think it may be DeVille that did it. That's like kind of just like a slam party starter edit. So it's like boom, right into that. It's tricky. And I like that because then I could go into other stuff, other good new stuff too at that dance tempo. Drew, do you have one? Do you want a list?
Yep. I actually wanted to show this because this is all I could think of when we talk about how we do it, but this is how we do it.
How we do it.
Is Facebook. That's all I can think about when I hear this is how we do it. It's like, that's how we do it.
There's like a whole meme video of like people's names that are into a song. Like there's like a whole thing on the internet. It's crazy.
So yeah, it totally depends on the vibe of the couple, right? So if they're a hip hop heavy couple, I'm going to come in with this is how we do it. Crazy in Love, something that's a little bit, something that's more in that, 100 BPM where I could just, kind of knock them over the head. I'll even start with like a Bring 'Em Out, or if they didn't already use that, with other hip hop stuff. Because again, that's like over 20 years old at this point. So the people we consider older at the wedding love that, that's their
'cause
jams already.
The parents of the bride and groom, like they listen to 90s, like they love Eminem,
Yeah. Yep. And so I do start off with a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's of a hip hop. And then what I was going to add is if it's like a different pop, I'll do a Whitney Houston, Dance with Somebody. I do, it really depends on the demographic, like how many more old people are there versus younger people, right? So I try and gauge that and see who's going to be my dancers, if you will. But if it's a lot more older, then I will still do the September or the Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Depends, right? I really try and gauge it, but I play those fairly quick. Or, Dancing Queen into Staying Alive, and then maybe the Jackson 5. And then if I'm just doing like, more poppy stuff, I would just do, I wanted to dance with, or no, what is it? We Found Love. I like Fireball. I know Digital Dave's going to talk shit about it, but I love Fireball. I think it crushes. I'm in California, so that's something that if I have a Latin crowd, it's a nice little crossover, and then go into Danza Kuduro or something like that, and I think it kind of flips over. And then, I come out swinging. I'll burn like...
I was about to say, like,
I'll
you're
come
burning
out-
like your heavy
yeah.
hitters right out the gate.
Always, every single time. Out the gate, the first 10 minutes, because my theory is I want to get the pictures, right? A lot of times the photographers are only there for the first 15 minutes of the dance set. And so I set it up to where, they're jumping and going crazy, like out the gate, and they can get a bunch of good shots. So the edit I use for Fireball, comes out with, the roof is on fire. And then it just goes right into the drop. And, in that I get on the mic and like tell everybody, when the beat drops to jump. And then that way the photographer gets the thing.
You're also setting the tone too for the rest of the night in that first 10 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very much, let's go out swinging, and, and it also cuts down on requests. I feel I don't get anybody really coming up for me requests, because by that time they're like, okay, this DJ knows what he's doing, and I've already burned through like 20 songs, just.
I've had recently where like the couples, a few recently where the couples have made a request for like, this is what we want to, start the dance floor with. And I feel like sometimes it's like, okay, like if that's what's going to get you out there, great. But then it's like just kind of what you said, Justin, like with when you're playing the slow song, it's like, all right, well, next song's got to be a banger, because if the people here aren't into it, we got to get them into it, So, but I like all of what Drew mentioned. I think those are all. Crazy in Love's another good one I've used multiple times. And the Pitbull, I feel like, is good as well.
I did a wedding recently, and we started out with so we changed venues to like, it was all outside earlier, and then they wanted everybody to come inside for the dancing. And the couple they worked in TV shows, Netflix and Peacock, and so they were fairly hip to a lot of the stuff. We had started out with the White Lotus theme song of Tiesto remix. And then from there into Hava Nagila Electro House remix. And so we're just swinging out the gate, you know, but people were going crazy and dancing. And I just played very new. If anything was old, it was like a house version of it, you know, like I said, that Wookiee, or even a house version of September, the Alpha, what is it? Alpha Love remix.
Gotcha. I think those are all good options, and you know, it's very situational. Like I think everybody has basically said that.
Any honorable mentions or any other ideas or anything you've seen work lately that was just like through the roof?
I think one good slow one. Let's do a couple more slow ones, because I think we only really did a handful. I think Isn't She Lovely, Stevie Wonder is a great one.
Sure.
Like I always try to think of like a good song that would work for the couples that are out on the dance floor. Like if I was welcoming all the couples to share Dance with the Bride and Groom, Let's Stay Together, Al Green is also a solid one. Let's see.
So Let's Get It On is too aggressive for you?
I would say Let's Get It On is a little too sexual.
It's see, the funny thing about that is it's all in your head, right? For older people, that song was, you know, 70s, and so they don't think of it too badly like that. And I think the younger people are like, ooh, that's a, you know, tongue in cheek, but it always works. It's always a big hit.
It's because all the movies where they have like a minor sex scene in the romantic comedy used that song as the song, so now everyone connects that song to like that.
Which is also why I love playing it, because I feel like it connects to him, you know, and it's like, okay, this DJ, there's at least something going on here. He could feel it. I don't know. That's me.
Feel it. Wow, interesting choice of word there, Drew.
Hey yo, I think that's also the reason why a lot of people connect or recognize September too. So I feel like there were so many like movies where the end credits were September and everyone's just like dancing, having fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So many movies for me are music. Movies have probably impacted my music more than like albums themselves over the years. Like I can associate so many songs with movies, and you know, I'm very audio visual in that sense. So I agree that movies play a huge role in that.
Well, yeah, most of the time I always try and come out swinging with that more up tempo. That's just where I'll leave it, is I like coming out up tempo so the photographers can get the shot. And then, you know, I get on the mic once or twice during that little 15-minute set just to get everybody's hands up. Photographer can get that shot. And then I'm back to just, you know, off the mic and just playing music.
Word. Well, any other more slow songs you want to mention, or is that it? That all we got?
I mean, I got a ton, but I think those are some of the solid ones for sure.
Cool. Anything else we want to talk about before we wrap up here today? I feel like we've talked a lot, and there's been a lot of good little tidbits and information here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to a couple events coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure when this episode's going to air, but mid-July I'll be at the Hacker Hotel, the Cray Hackers 5-year party they're throwing. Might do a DJ set maybe for that live stream too. And then DJX. You guys are going to DJX, right?
We will not be.
No,
we will
We're
not.
not going to have the
Sacagawea party?
Sacagawea party at the bar. No.
I know.
Dang.
Yeah, Fuse is actually going to come out here. I think right after next week, we're going to go to the scam party.
Okay.
That Atlantic City is just too hard to get to.
It really is.
Costs
It's
too
really
much money.
expensive too.
Yeah.
Costs
It's
too much
such a
money.
pain.
Yeah.
The last time Drew and I, the last one we went to where we did that party, Drew and I, my flight there was like $800. And the
same.
thing that sucks is you're still not even there. You're just to Philly, and then you got to
gotta get on the
drive.
train.
You got to drive. So it's like we rented a car, we drove or flew into Philly, rented a car. Luckily, our flights, we worked them out to where they were like 30 minutes apart from each other, hopped in the car together, and then drove out there. But still, like
It's a tough show. It's a tough show to go to. But anyways, I'm going to be spending about $2,000 to go to DJX. And I'm doing a social media panel We got DJ 𝐾𝐨 on it. We got Jack Christian. We got Cleveland Terry and myself. We'll be just chatting about social media and stuff like that. I'm not sure which day. I think it's Wednesday or Tuesday. I don't know. I don't know. just look out for that. We'll have that panel on one of those days at DJX, and it should be a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Before we sign off here, we just got to mention, if you use promo code Drew and Few Show, it'll get you 30% off your first month at DMS. We also have our Patreon now. It's $9.99. So some of the edits that we mentioned for the dance floor opening, we'll throw them in there. So if you guys haven't signed up, make sure you check that out. A lot of good exclusives and good lists and other things going in there. So if you haven't checked that out yet, make sure to do so.
Yeah,
Drew,
man.
anything else you want to mention?
No. Justin, give us all your socials and everything else you could find.
Well, I guess it's over.
Right.
See ya.
It's over.
Hit us with your stuff, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, you just find me Justin the DJ on everything. So that's really it.
Cool. Well, have fun spending all that money to get to Atlantic City. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Peace.